In our first installment, we refurbished a 1940s or 50s Brownie flash 620 camera to working and smooth operating condition. Now, that was less than gentle. Now, we're going to modify this 120 film to behave as if it were the old-fashioned 620 that Brownie camera takes. To do this quick and dirty, non-darkroom method, I find it helpful to have an original 620 film spool for reference, nail clippers, preferably those with a flat edge on them, and lastly, a bit of sandpaper. Yes, this is all the sandpaper that I have access to right now, but we'll make it work. We've got a coarse and a very fine. What could go wrong? Have I mentioned that I've never done this before? I feel like that may be useful information. Your individual mileage may vary. As this is near impossible to do one-handed, I will just give a number of updates during the process, but it's as simple as budging up the nail clippers to just about where the film leader is, and snipping around, and we'll clean up the edge with the sandpaper once we're done with that. Now we verify that we have the proper clearance in our bastardization of this film reel, and we do. So we simply repeat on the other side. Remember, you can always take away material, you can never put it back, and to have a foxtail and dustpan handy to clear up all of these plastic shards because they go everywhere. With that done, we need only sand down the edges such that it matches the thickness of the steel reel. Again, take your time and have cleaning supplies on hand. If you do so, you should have a very similarly heighted roll in absolutely no time. I've shaved it down enough that I believe we can do a test fit, just to see if we have to go any further. Usually these cameras have a little bit of tolerance, so you can get away with just doing a little bit less work on your sanding. Making sure our environment is swept free of all dust, let's do a test fit. Well, it fits, but it doesn't fit well. It would work, but I'm just going to go a little bit further to ensure the longevity of my camera. And finally, with our roll sort of pared down to proper dimensions, we can finally thread it in. We're just going to attach the roll, detach the leader, stretch it over, and then tuck it into that slot on our take-up spool. And once it is pulled in as far as it will go, begin to wind. Within one crank it should be holding fast. And before we start actually exposing film, let's get it in its case. And there we are. Now we simply wind. Pardon the horrid lighting in this bit. Until a 1 appears in the window. There's our arrow. Hopefully I don't skip my first slide, but if we do, then that's A-okay. Because I'm probably going to ruin this spool in development anyway, because it's the first one. Let's just skip so we see the 1 now. And there we go. We are officially at our first frame. This camera is now locked. and loaded, let's go take our first picture. And as the wind picks up, it becomes clear who the first subject will be, naturally. So, we'll pick this up in part 3, when we actually try to develop what I take on this camera. Should be a fun trip for both of us. Thank you so much for watching.